What's up, YouTube? This is Rodney, Garrecore EDC. I'm going to make this short and sweet because I got some other videos I want to do before the day's over. Got a late start on this. It is May 25th, 6:05 in the great state of North Carolina. And I got some more vids to do. So in the pocket today for today's carry is the awesome, wonderful, spectacular Twosun TS17 in black washed titanium with a D2 blade and a very nice, well-functioning pocket clip, which is somewhat of an oddity at times for Twosuns, but they do have some knives that when they execute the clip well, it is very nice. At the same thought process, there's many out there that leave you just wanting more. That being said, this is somewhat of a mid-sized knife. In the closed position, we're looking right at about 4.5 inches. In the open position, we're looking right at about 7 7/8, with a cutting edge of about 3 and maybe 7/16, not quite there, about 3.5 blade length. It is a fancy smancy recurve that is definitely odd. Got a nice long belly here, nice grind there, sort of a drop point with a fuller groove on both sides. This is a night morning design in D2, has the Twosun moniker there. Flat grind on both portions. Very nice, thick, beefy tip. I believe you could puncture through just about anything. Nice 4-finger grip. Has a nice cutaway here to allow you to get your finger in there and get a little bit of extra bite on the knife since there is no jimping on the spine. Has a nice milled, somewhat futuristic type milled pattern on the frames. Somewhat symmetrical from front to back. Nice milled titanium backspacer. No lanyard option on this knife. Detent ramp works great. This is a drop shut knife. I've had this one apart a couple times, cleaned it. It's the thing with Twosuns, a lot of times fresh out of the box, you need to make sure you take them apart and clean them in maintenance and get some of that factory oil off and put your oil of choice on. Mine is KPL. There are plenty of other synthetic oils out there, and non-synthetic, of course, too. But I really like the function of this knife. This action on this one is a little more smoother than the G10 version, the one that I modified with the uranium SFX blue scales by Rafir. I am thinking about possibly modifying the area here where this clip is to get some more access to that. It is a little, I mean, this one works great, but you know, it is sort of small. I would say that it's more of a light switch than a push button. You have a nice recurve there for sharpening. Nice thick beefy blade stock on this knife. Very slender profile, flow through design. In the pocket, again, the clip works great in and out of pocket. You got about not quite 3/4 of an inch hanging out there. Nice looking clip to be exposed. I love the black wash by Twosun. They do a great job. This is not anodized. This is some kind of other coating. You cannot remove it in traditional methods. Hardware is T8 on the pivot and T8 on the pocket clip and back screw, T6 on the hardened insert. And this is sort of a different style. You have on a lot of the Twosuns, you have one side that has no screw and then the other side that has a screw. On this particular sample, you have a screw on both sides, which is somewhat odd for Twosun. And it's just, I really like this knife. It's again, I didn't really care for the G10 version. That's why I modified it with the scales that I did in another video. Blade centering on this sample is right down the center. You can see that it's a real thick, beefy blade at the top of the spine. For lockup with the hardened insert, we're looking at probably about 45–50%. Action is great. Over travel stop built into the hardened insert. Nice geometric lines. I really like that. For a blade, or for the frame thickness, we're looking at 452 thou. Blade thickness, we're looking at 150 thou. And behind the spine, the edge, somewhat of a thicker knife, we're looking at 26 thou. And then at the tip, get it up there, if I can get it right, yeah, about the same thing, about 27 thou. And those numbers can vary a little bit depending on where you measure. It's a very thick, beefy grind. Recurves are somewhat of a bear to resharpen, but if you have a ceramic rod or anything of the sort, they're not too hard to, well, I'll take that back, they are a pain to sharpen, but they're very nice looking. We have some internal pin and a track that it rides in, very nicely done, and jimping there on the flipper. I'm not sure if this mark here is a Twosun night morning mark. I'm not familiar with that, but it's on, I think, this and a couple other knives that I have that are night morning, so I'm guessing that is a night morning style maker's mark of sorts. For weight on this knife, we're looking at least 3.5 to 4, 120.2 grams and 4¼ ounce. I was definitely off on that. It doesn't feel that heavy. It feels closer to 4 or less, but as you can see, it's 4.24 ounces, 4.23. So it's got a little bit of heft to it. It's a small knife, but there is no skeletonization on the liners of this, so that adds to the weight, I'm sure. And you got a big, thick, wide clip, big, thick, heavy blade, so that adds to the weight. This is definitely a beast of a knife for a small knife. In a previous video, I did a collaboration of this one and a couple other knives 6–7 months ago, and I think I called it the Reaper. Well, I was wrong. This is called the Ripper, R-I-P-P-E-R, not Reaper. But I thought Reaper was suiting and fitting, so I thought that's what it was called, but it's not. It's the Ripper, which is even more suiting. I believe you could rip through some stuff with this and use it as a pry bar if you wanted to use this for such. I know people are cringing when I say that, but anyway, that is in today's pocket on this 5/25/2020 of May. It's been a pleasure to carry. I've had the day off, been outside and doing a few things and helping my wife with some ducks and messing around and spending time a little bit here and there, and that's about it. Been taking it pretty easy today. Comparable knife sizes, we have the regular old, same old Rat 1, Rat 2, comparable to the Rat 2 in size. We have the K-Bar Dozier. There you go. I need to change that clip on there, don't I? Love a K-Bar Dozier. You can see it kills it on the blade length. If I can get that in shot. Quite a bit biffier blade. Frame size is larger on the Dozier, not much, but the blade size is significantly smaller. Blade to handle ratio, we're looking, using up most of that blade there, that frame for that blade. No worries of getting your finger in there and getting it caught unless you really stick your finger in there to catch it. I guess you can. If you push your finger hard, you could get cut on it. But I think you would really have to be trying. I'm pushing with my finger here, and the fold of my finger is going down in that area, and it's not an issue for me. One thing I do like about this, y'all have heard me talk about in previous videos, on this particular Twosun, the relief for the lock bar is on the inside, the interior. So it adds to the aesthetics pleasing for the exterior of the frame. So good job, Twosun. I like that addition or modification to this particular knife. This is an earlier version. You know, they're in the 250s now, I think. And this is the TS17. So this one's been around a while. It's also available in a G10 with a hexagonal pattern. And it's available, I have seen as of recently, I think it's a re-release of older models because I've heard they were out before. But they are selling this in M390 right now, not the D2. If I had the funds and got a good deal, I would definitely opt and purchase the M390. But I'm totally fine with the D2. D2's great blade, and their heat treat is good on D2. Does it perform as good as some American knives? Probably not. But, you know, it's a hit or a miss. If I could, you know, I don't know. You might could sure call me a Twosun fanboy. I like Twosuns, but just call me a fan man. That being said, you know, I like the quality that Twosun puts out, and for the use of their materials and new designs and thinking outside the box, Twosun is really killing it. And for dollar to value ratio of what they're fabricating and manufacturing, I think Twosun is really a nice addition to the same old, same old. That being said, that's what I have for you today on today's carry. Stay tuned. I'm going to try to do at least 2 or 3 more videos today. I know it's late and it's going to be taking y'all's time up, filling y'all's time to watch my videos, but please give me a chance. If you get a chance, watch them. I thank you for your time so much. Have a blessed Memorial Day. Again, thank you everyone that has anything to do with the military and the service, and, you know, just God bless you. You know, I am free to do this because I have had people fight for my freedom, and it is much, much appreciated. Please be safe, and, you know, just, this world is a crazy place right now. So, thinking about you, praying for you. Y'all take care now. This is Rodney with Gear Core EDC, and remember, keep that edge right. Bye now.